Well, I'm just gonna shove.
Just roll wherever, yeah.
It's 8 a.m. Sunday, April 10th, and Bill and Steve are picking me up at my house for a tour going up the Pine Creek Rail Trail.
You are in the woods.
Yeah.
Is that your root cellar?
Yeah, it's kind of falling apart right now. Haven't had anything in there for a while. All right, here we go, here we go.
The old pack.
We stopped for second breakfast at the Texas Lunch, 204 South Main Street in Lock Haven, Pennsylvania. In Jersey Shore, it's time for our first selfie. That's me, and then Bill in the middle, and Steve. And we're getting ready to jump on the bikes and start on the Pine Creek Rail Trail. Just headed out of Jersey Shore. It's cold, blustery. And here's a little pedestrian and bicycle bridge across Highway 220.
You're a pretty good looking squall over there.
Yeah, Bill just pointed out a big snow squall headed our direction. Really can't see it, but there's light sleet falling on us right now. There are lots of trails along the Pine Creek walking trails, walking and hiking trails. The biggest one is the Mid-State Trail, but here you can see signs for several of them. That's Pine Creek on the left, and the trail follows the Pine Creek all the way up to the top. Lots of gates like this along the Pine Creek. It's a little campsite off to our left. I've never stayed there. It's kind of out in the open. Sometimes the trout fishermen you'll see are in there camped. Here we've stopped at Wolf's General Store in Slate Run to pick up hoagies for supper. It's a very nice store. A lot of fishing tackle. Bicycles for rent. We're just starting to see some signs of unmelted snow in the shade areas along the trail.
Isn't that pretty?
It's been pretty wet, and there are side streams and waterfalls just coming in all over the trail. They're just beautiful. Bill took a few photos of them, but it was cold and rainy, and Steve and I didn't stop very long to film these things, but beautiful. Please excuse my sniffling. It's right at 32 degrees, and it's cold out as we're riding into a really strong headwind that you can't see here, but it is a strong headwind.
Yeah, it's their spring break.
Okay.
Bill and I were just talking about my granddaughters visiting during their school spring break.
Spring break, fall break, Christmas break. We didn't have none of that stuff
Yeah.
as kids.
No. Oh, there's a good place to pitch your tent.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm very surprised about this snow. I took a picture of it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 45 miles on the sea that far, but we've been pedaling all day.
And you really haven't come off the pedals.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
Yep.
You ain't have that headwind.
Yeah, we're only averaging 8.9 miles now.
Yeah, that's averaging 8.9 miles an hour up this 2% grade with a headwind. Not our normal speed.
Now it looks like between 4 and 5, huh?
Yeah, it's 4:02 right now.
We expected to be at our campsite about 3:30, but as I said, it's 4:02. Now
Well,
we're
it's
expected to get
38
there
right
about
now,
5.
so
Yeah, we got,
7 more miles.
I'm thinking we got 6 to go. After we get past 23.
Oh, okay.
6.5.
Yep, he's right behind us.
I can't see. This is driving me crazy. What happened to me in the back of that little thing? I was talking to myself. I was dancing with myself too. Go ahead, I'll take a picture.
Oh, that's so pretty. I think I'm gonna just shoot my movie thing at it.
My movie thing's actually a GoPro on my handlebars. now about 45 miles north of Jersey Shore where we started, and we're coming into the Tiadot campground area. We're on the trail, and the little pathway just to the left there is mostly ridden, horses mostly ride over there, and they have to stay off the trail. A lot of horses come out of Tiadot. Bill has gone ahead, so we'll see him when we come down into the campsite. This is one of the best maintained rails to trails I've ever ridden. Cars can come up here too and park in the parking lot just a little ways north. And here we go down into the Tiadot campsite. There's Bill. He's already scoped the place out. At this time, there are no other campers here. You have to have a permit to camp.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. What's right down over the hill there? Oh, goose.
And we've set up our tents and have a nice little fire going and getting ready to eat supper. See, all of our wet clothes are hanging on a line. This is the next morning, and there's frost on our tents. It was well below freezing last night. Frost on all of the things out on the picnic table, wondering whether or not the fuel will actually work this morning.
Here we are at Tiadot, a very frosty morning. Temperatures must be in the low 30s. Everybody was pretty warm last night. Sitting here having coffee and cookies and oatmeal. Saw a nigger last night. Flew right over top of our heads. Steve was ready to crawl into the fire. Hi, Steve. They were very nice here today. Looks like it'll be a good day. We're gonna probably bike to Wellsboro if everything goes right.
And since I stayed in camp, I got to watch canoes and kayaks come down the Pine Creek. A lot of people boat here, canoe and kayak. This was the stream where we got our water. The water was not tested at Tiadot, and so we got it out of a stream, and I filtered it in a Sawyer filter. As I said, the trail is just wonderfully maintained. And here's a tractor coming up with a big leaf blower on the front, blowing the leaves off the trail. They really do maintain this trail in great condition. You can ride in it in all kinds of weather. The other thing I did during the day as I stayed there was pester the goose. His life shouldn't be as easy as it really is. Now, there are a lot of geese. There were grebes, mergansers. Of course, we saw all kinds of songbirds and bald eagles.
Come here.
You can see how clean that stream is. Beautiful trout fishing. And here, Bill and Steve are coming back from their ride. We've got some other campers, and that's Chip from Ohio. He's 58 years old and on his first big tour. And Bill, of course, stops to chat. and he's going to invite Chip down to our camp for a cup of coffee, conversation around the campfire. Here we all are. That's Chip on the left, then me, then Steve, then Bill. And we're ready to go to bed for our second night, and this is our bear hang. Tyadotten is one of the places that they've closed because of bear.
It's raining outside.
This is the next morning.
I think you can hear it. It's not snowing. That's good. But we're going to have to get up and get around here in the rain this morning. Yeah. I already woke up. Back and took my, got my puffy jacket on, and a sweater, sweatshirt, orange sweatshirt, and inside the sleeping bag. Got a little cool again last night, but I feel I'm a little plugged up here. But I had a pretty good night's sleep, so I hear Steve or Bill or somebody's waking up. I think we're going to have to get around here in the rain and get our rain gear on and go. It was supposed to be sunny and 70. So much for that. So I'll get on the trail here in a minute.
Right after I got up and got my stuff around in the tent, the rain stopped, and this is what we had in the morning. The sky's cleared, a few clouds down along the river creek. And we're back on the trail, headed home. And this is just a little bit south of the Tyadotten campground. Headed back towards Jersey Shore. Again, about a 45-mile trip down to our car. This is just north of the Hoffman camping area a little ways. Rail trail into the Blackwell access area, or the rail bridge. And I'm ahead of Steve and Bill, and so turn around to take their photos coming through, a little movie of them coming through.
There we go.
I was going to sprint right past me.
We discovered this little cemetery near Slate Run. Very old. The woods have all grown up in it. We just explored around.
There's a good legible one right down there. $18.91 here. I mean, the tree's grown right up in. Yeah.
They'd be already washed away.
Someone had put flags around these Pennsylvania cavalry officers' graves.
Pennsylvania Cavalry.
Oh my.
J.E.
1861, died in 1865. I'm assuming
Maybe in the
that's
war.
what that- I don't know if that's the war, the Civil War, or that's the date he. Of course, he would have to live more.
Yeah, you wouldn't be in the army at 4 years
This will
old.
say the same thing. Probably, yeah.
But my goodness gracious. I mean, look how the tree's grown right up
Yeah.
in them. And that tree is how old, you think? And it grew up in.
I'll tell you
You're
what,
right,
they
because
better
I
hope this
walked
tree,
down the river.
they
back
better
there.
hope this tree doesn't root out. It might bring up some body.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure would.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these things are probably down here a couple feet, if that.
Yeah.
There's one there, I can't.
They're just so hard to. You almost need to throw some water on them to see what they are.
Sad to see things in such disrepair here.
Yeah.
Probably you knew what, Rob, probably you knew probably the whole way down there people buried too.
This one said this lady was wed in 1877.
It might go back to the 18, well, great big soldiers had to be, you know, they might have been.
Well, it's certainly gotten warmer. I've taken my jacket off and put it on my handlebar bag so it's in the camera's way. We're headed into Waterville, headed into the McConnell's Country Store, again to get some food, some drinks, and then headed on back to our car. McConnell's Country Store is a great little place to get a hoagie, and it also has a wonderful fly shop, fly rods, and information about fishing this creek. And we're about 10 miles north of Jersey Shore here. Headed south again across the Pine Creek on one of the rail trail bridges. Again, these guys can get really slick when they're wet, this wood can, but they're all marked with signs indicating the dangers if they're wet.
It is one.
This is the first campsite north of Jersey Shore. It's called Bonnell Flats. The well right there says, "Do not drink. The water's non-potable." Most of the water along the trail used to be drinkable from those wells,
Let's go
but
across
it's
that.
not tested anymore. And again, we're headed into Jersey Shore, and we're going to end this little tour right here as we cross back across 220 over the bicycle pedestrian bridge that goes over Highway 220, and then down into the Jersey Shore parking
What we've
area.
been looking for.
Thanks for watching. Happy biking.